Amber Glenn had to stop everything she was doing just to tell the internet to calm down. And honestly, the way this all unfolded is peak 2026 social media chaos. It started with a TikTok. That's it. A simple, behind-the-scenes clip from the Stars on Ice tour, where Glenn and her teammate Alysa Liu were caught on camera holding hands, spinning together on the ice, completely lost in laughter. No big deal, right? Just two athletes goofing around backstage at a figure skating show. Except the internet decided in real time that this was something else entirely. And within hours, the comment section turned into a full-blown investigation. The video hit 9 million views, 1.7 million likes, and somewhere around the 3 million mark, people stopped just watching and started theorizing. Fans were connecting dots that didn't exist, building timelines, pulling old photos, doing the absolute most. As the internet does. Glenn and Liu weren't just teammates anymore according to TikTok. They were a couple, a secret couple. And the speculation spread fast. Now here's what makes this story actually interesting. Glenn is 26. Liu is 20. And Glenn has been openly queer for years, which her fans already knew and loved her for. So when this video blew up, a portion of the audience wasn't exactly shocked at the idea, they were excited. They were shipping it hard. And Glenn, to her credit, didn't ignore it, didn't let her PR team handle it, didn't post a vague statement. She went straight into her own comment section and typed in all caps, which tells you everything about her energy. Guys, Alysa is like a little sister to me. I've known her since she was 10 and I was 16. Read that again. She has known Alysa Liu since Liu was 10 years old. Glenn was 16 at the time. These two grew up in the same skating circles, spent years training and competing alongside each other, watched each other evolve from young competitors into Olympic-level athletes. The idea that there's romance there doesn't just miss the mark. It completely misreads a relationship that is years deep and rooted in something far more like family than anything else. And Glenn didn't stop at the comment. She followed it up with a throwback photo, a selfie from years back, the two of them visibly younger, clearly just kids in the skating world together. It was the kind of move that shuts a rumor down without making it a bigger deal than it needs to be. She handled it with humor, she handled it with warmth, and she moved on. That's honestly the right call every time. But let's talk about Alysa Liu for a second, because her trajectory since the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics has been genuinely extraordinary. Liu won gold in the women's singles figure skating event in Italy. Not bronze, not silver, gold. And she didn't just win it quietly. She delivered the kind of performance that makes people stop scrolling, rewind the clip, and watch it again just to make sure they saw what they thought they saw. It was show-stopping in the most literal sense of the word. Before the Olympics, Liu was already a respected name in figure skating. She became the youngest U.S. figure skating champion in history when she first won the national title, so this was never someone flying under the radar. But there's a difference between being known in the skating world and being known by everyone everywhere. The gold medal at Milano Cortina crossed that line. After those games, Liu landed magazine covers. She booked talk show appearances. She got a spot on the Met Gala red carpet, which, if you know anything about how that guest list works, is not something that happens by accident. That's a statement. That's the culture saying, yes, this person belongs in this conversation now. And then the Met Gala itself became its own news cycle for her, but not for a reason anyone would want. An intruder was tackled to the ground near Liu on the red carpet. She was right there when security intervened. That's a terrifying thing to experience at what should be one of the most celebratory nights of your career, and it ended up being part of her story in a way nobody planned for. In January of this year, Liu sat down with Cosmopolitan and gave an interview that was refreshingly direct. She said she sees herself being single for a long time. She said she prioritizes friendships over relationships, any day of the week. That quote matters here because it's not just a throwaway answer. It's a window into where her head is at. She's 20 years old. She just won an Olympic gold medal. She's navigating global fame for the first time. And she's actively choosing to put her energy into the people already in her life, rather than looking for something romantic. That's a pretty mature and self-aware place to be, and it also very directly puts the Liu and Glenn dating theory completely to rest. Now let's bring it back to Glenn, because her story deserves its own space in this conversation. She placed 5th in the women's singles event at the Olympics, which sounds straightforward until you know that she received an infraction during her free skate. That's the kind of thing that can derail a performance completely, that can take an athlete mentally out of the moment right when they need to be most present. Fifth place under those circumstances still represents years of elite-level work and an ability to hold it together when everything is going sideways. Since the Games, Glenn has built a following that genuinely rivals athletes who medaled. She has over 2.5 million TikTok followers, 1.5 million on Instagram. She's one of those athletes who figured out how to translate what she does on the ice into something that connects with people who have never watched a figure skating competition in their life. That's a specific skill, and not everyone has it. The fact that a backstage video of her laughing with her teammate could rack up 9 million views proves exactly that. Both Glenn and Liu are currently on the Stars on Ice tour, which has been running for decades and brings together Olympic and World Championship level skaters for live performances. This isn't competition. There are no scores, no judges, no pressure in that high-stakes sense. It's pure performance, pure entertainment, and it gives skaters a chance to connect with audiences in a way that Olympic coverage sometimes doesn't allow for. More personality, more spontaneity, more of those behind-the-scenes moments that go viral on TikTok. Glenn, Liu, and their teammate Isabeau Levito, the three of them have picked up the nickname the Blade Angels, which is genuinely a great nickname. Each performed their own solo routine on the tour in addition to a group number together. The tour launched in Osaka, Japan in early April and is now working its way through the United States with shows scheduled through the end of May. So when you zoom out and look at the full picture, what you actually have is two athletes who grew up together in a demanding, competitive sport, who both made it to the Olympic stage, who are now navigating massive public profiles with very different styles but similar groundedness. Glenn is loud and direct and goes into her own comment section at 9 million views to set the record straight in all caps. Liu is quieter about it, gives a clean, honest answer in a magazine interview, and lets the work speak. Both approaches work. Both are real. The internet was going to ship them no matter what. That's just how it goes now. Viral moment plus two women plus one of them being openly queer equals speculation, every single time. But Glenn wasn't having it. Liu already answered the question before anyone even asked her directly. And the actual story. Two skaters who've known each other for a decade, performing together on tour, genuinely enjoying what they built, is better than any rumor anyway.